Hi, thank you for joining me on a quick tutorial on the MLS. I'm just going to use this time to go over some basic information on the MLS and how to use it. So here I'm on the main screen. You're going to go ahead and click login. At this point, it would normally ask me for a username and password, but I'm already logged in, so it's going to bring me to the front page. You first get the notifications that the system is informing you of any updates, changes, form updates, etc. You can either click I've read this or read later. That then brings us to the main front page of your MLS. Here, what we really want to focus on is Market Watch. You can customize this. Mine is just general, it's the default settings, but some people change this or customize it to certain areas that they want to watch. But as you see, the market as a whole, what are coming soon, new listing, back on the market, homes that did price drops, etc. Here's my recent visitors to my saved searches so I can kind of see their activity and when they've been using it, different links, schedule showings, to get into the forms that you need. There's other ways to access that information as well. But if you're searching for a property, well, first of all, if you know the MLS number, you can enter the MLS number up here. If I just entered that one and hit enter, it's going to bring me to that property, which is closed. So these are the different statuses. Obviously, this one is closed. So that's one way you can search for a property, or you can search single family. And you have a variety of ways of searching for things here, right? Let's say I am specifically looking in Andover, and I want to see any coming soon and currently active properties, because if I'm house hunting, I don't care about things that are pending or closed. Obviously, this would change depending on, if you're running a market analysis, etc. But coming soon and active, and then I'm going to put none for contingency, because I don't want to see any properties that are contingent on, an inspection or anything else. And let's say I'm looking between 300 and 400,000. And I want only all single family homes. So as you can see on the screen, I mean, that's just kind of a quick basic tutorial, but you have all of these different options that you could include when you're trying to do a search. I'm going to look for all single family, and then I get my results. So these are all of the coming soon and currently active properties in Andover between 300,000 and 400,000. Now, the status coming soon means it's not on the market yet, isn't quite available, but I can go into it and I can see, okay, it's coming soon on June 11th at this price. Here's the bedroom, bath count, the garage, the taxes, how many square footage, a blurb about the property. Usually in agent remarks is where they would put anything like if the seller needed to close on a specific day, or if it was contingent on them finding another home, or maybe the septic system's non-compliant. That's usually where agents will put some important information, but that they don't want as public knowledge. So this is all your information in the MLS about the property: dimensions, gas, heating, air conditioning, city water, city sewer, what's included, buyer broker compensation, the type of financing that the property will accept. And then you can click through the pictures. So a few other things that I want to point out is up here, you have map, so you can pinpoint where the property is, tax information, photos, history of the property, etc., etc. But what I want to focus on up here is documents, or also supplements. Like here's a copy of the seller's disclosures, so you can open that up and review them. Typically, it would be beneficial for you to review them before you met clients, because then you might gain some additional insight on the property. That's where you find the disclosures. And a virtual tour, showing time. This is where you go ahead and schedule a showing. I'll show you that in a moment. Here's Instinet. This is where you get to the forms. I recommend going into a listing like this and starting from here to write the offer. It just makes it easier for you. Here we have trust funds. This is the way that we send earnest money via a link. So that's the link for that. So, everything that you really need to link to on a property is right here. So I'm going to show you how to go ahead and schedule a showing. I'm going to go back to single line view. And let's say we are going to schedule 5, or I'm going to schedule 3 of these properties. Okay. I'm clicking on them. I go to showing time. This is asking me if I want to add it because I have a current tour scheduled for today, which is irrelevant at the time you view this video, but I'm going to do create new showing cart and next. So we're going to pretend that we're going to go today. And here's what I love about it. This asks you to name it. I'm just going to put bake. Here's where you probably put your client's name. That's what I put in here. But now, as you can see, it opens you to this screen. Oh, I picked 3, but it's only showing 2. Either way, you can see that it pins them. So let's say I would have had all 3 and then the third property was way over here. I'm going to rearrange my showings to make sure that I'm going in the direction that makes the most sense. So if I changed my order here, you can see it'll just pin them for you. Then you pick a time. So I can schedule a time for this to start. Let's say we're doing 1:45 and I hit save. Well, now it shows me that there's a 12-minute drive between this property and the next property. So if I'm starting at 1:45, I figure it'll be about 15 minutes view time. You get to know your clients a little bit better and how long they take and how long they don't. But I find typically about 15 minutes view time. And then we need 15 minutes to drive there, right? So then I'm going to start my next one at, if I could, 2:15. It's blocked out in here, but I would pick that time. Or let's say I need to schedule these and I'm seeing, oh, this isn't available till 2:45 or 12:45. I'm going to call back my client and maybe it's that, okay, we're going to do this one at 12:45 and we're moving up our whole tour time. Okay. So I would probably schedule this one for 1. And this one for 12:30. That gives me 15 minutes in the house, 15 minutes to drive to the next one. And then I try and schedule longer than 15-minute appointments. So this one I have a half hour. That just gives me some extra time for driving. I would then hit save. And I'm not going to do this because it will send the request, but down here I'll hit send the request. And then that is going to send the request for the seller. And then you, depending on how you have your settings set up, is going to indicate whether you get text message, emails, etc. on, that your showing request has been received and once it's approved by the seller. So that brings me to another point. Go to my matrix and my information. This is one of the first things that you should do. And you just want to make sure your contact information in here is accurate in the way that you want it to be, whether you want to use your work email or a different email address, phone number, etc. Just make sure that your information is accurate. All right, so I've shown you where the supplements are to find disclosures. We've kind of briefly went over the MLS. I know that was really quick. You just kind of really got to get in there and play around with it. But the last thing that I want to show you is links. So if you go to tools and links, then down here you have tip of the week, news article, etc. But you have how-to videos. And this is basically the MLS's YouTube page that has almost any and every video that you can think of on how to actually use the system and a whole slew of other things. But if you wanted to find a video in particular on how to use something specific, this is a good place for you to go and find that. Or you can also feel free to pick up the phone and give me a call. I'm happy to walk through any questions that you may have on using the MLS, but hopefully this brief introduction gives you a little bit of direction on how to use the system. So that's all I have for you today. Best of luck, and we'll talk soon.